For a quick background, Colin Kaepernick is an American football quarterback drafted in 2011 by the San Francisco 49ers. Kaepernick has recently received a lot of attention for the Take a Knee protest that he started. The quarterback started by sitting on the bench instead of standing for the national anthem before a preseason game in August of 2016. When speaking to reporters about this act, Kaepernick said, quote, "I have great respect for the men and women that have fought for this country. I have family, I have friends that have gone and fought for this country, and they fight for freedom. They fight for the people. They fight for liberty and justice for everyone. That's not happening. People are dying in vain because this country isn't holding their end of the bargain up, as far as giving freedom and justice, liberty to everybody." Kaepernick said that a big part for his fight is against police brutality and the poor decisions made by government officials who put such police officers and the rules they follow in place. Shortly after Kaepernick started sitting on the bench for the anthem, an open letter to the player was published in the Army Times that was written by former Seattle Seahawks player Nate Boyer, who served as a Green Beret in U.S. military actions in both Afghanistan and Iraq. After Boyer's letter, the two met to have a discussion. After this, Kaepernick started kneeling during the anthem instead of sitting as a sign of respect for the soldiers and troops. Our two texts are about Colin Kaepernick and his decision to kneel during the national anthem. The first is an article by CBS Sports about how Kaepernick and Boyer met and came to an agreement about Colin's protest. The second is a photo that has been shared on social media sites comparing Kaepernick to another veteran, Glenn Coffey. The two texts have very different messages and thus contribute very differently to the identity of Colin Kaepernick.
Here we see right away one picture is interpreted as positive and the other as negative. Coffey, who used to play football professionally in the NFL, quit his job as a running back for the 49ers and decided to join the Army, where he served for about 3 years. He is seen as the hero, or the person that is doing the right thing, as opposed to Kaepernick, who is seen as just a rich athlete who only kneels during the national anthem before every game. It is clear that this text praises Coffey and essentially villainizes Kaepernick. Here is just a sample of another text that we chose to show you guys for our presentation. It is a CBS article that actually discusses how the kneeling incident first began and who told Kaepernick to kneel in the first place. The article does not villainize Kaepernick like the text did in the first video. Instead, the article gives some insight and gives reasoning to why Kaepernick kneels in the first place, making readers understand and hopefully at least make people respect what he does. Nate Boyer is mentioned within the article, and the article even includes a small video which explains the story behind the conversation between Boyer and Kaepernick. Going into more detail about this text type, you can clearly see that it showcases some similarities and differences between Kaepernick and Coffey. However, it shows their differences in a way that Kaepernick is perceived to have less integrity and patriotism than Coffey, making the overall effect of the photo more negative. Since it is a singular picture and not an article, it is very simple to read and catches the eye, listing its information as bullet points under each slide. This photo looks as if it was made by an average person because it is less professional than a full-blown article, so it could be interpreted as more genuine. The differences of Coffey and Kaepernick are the main focus of the picture, and Kaepernick is villainized since he is put in such a different light than Coffey. The photo gives one person more value than the other, trying to make a statement. Lastly, the photo states both individuals' actions with strong language. For example, it uses refused and gave up millions of dollars to amplify how in the wrong Kaepernick is.
The article, on the other hand, uses different methods to contribute to the identity of Kaepernick. To start, it is a longer read, so the reader can't just glance at it and attain all the information it has to offer, as they could with the previous image. However, it is not a difficult read, with many quotes in a video of an interview. It is also more positive. For example, it includes a quote from Boyer, who called Kaepernick very receptive. He said, I think that would be really powerful, Boyer recalls. And, he asked me to do it with him, and I said, look, I'll stand next to you. I gotta stand, though. It also has an image of a photo of the two men posted by Boyer. The caption reads, Thanks for the invite, brother. Good talk. Let's just keep moving forward. This is what America should be all about. The photo compares two people and tries to make one look bad, while the article shows two people working together, trying to show them both in a positive light. It also gives more information and more of a story, where the photo just gives a few opinions as bullet points. Both methods are effective, they are just different. The article is also more professional, written by CBS, a broadcasting news station that covers football extensively. This gives the article a little more credibility. It also gives quotes and several photos, making the people being discussed seem more regular and relatable. In a way, the article also analyzes the language of Kaepernick and Boyer's actions. While the texts are quite different, they do have some things in common. They both discuss Kaepernick in relation to a veteran who was also a football player, with the photo comparing him to Glenn Coffey and the article discussing his relationship with Nate Boyer. They are both eye-catching, with the photo using strong words and being easy to read, and the article using several photos and an intriguing title. And while the two texts deliver different messages and have different goals, they have a similar audience. They both just want to get their message across to Americans who are in any way informed about Kaepernick's story. The article has worked to Kaepernick's advantage as it fully explains in detail about the story behind him and Nate Boyer before Kaepernick started to take a knee during the national anthem. The article includes comments from other sources and does a good job making readers understand where Kaepernick is coming from. Nate Boyer, the man who told Kaepernick to take a knee in the first place. Therefore, the article contributes to Kaepernick's identity in that it makes him seem like an activist who is willing to compromise for the greater good. It shows him agreeing with a veteran and trying to take actions that help him spread his message. The photo, on the other hand, contributes to his identity by making him seem like somewhat of an entitled crybaby who isn't really fighting for what he believes in, but is just a wealthy guy trying to stand out. Which identity that you choose to assign to Kaepernick is up to you.
Survey said